If your coworkers barely talk to you, hardly include you, and you can feel something is off, pay attention because this isn't something to brush off. Ignore it, and it doesn't just stay quiet. It can cost you your job. It can turn your workplace into a toxic environment that makes you dread clocking in. And eventually, you quit because you can't just take it anymore. In this episode, I'm going to give you 3 reasons your coworkers might not like you, or at least why it feels that way. And I promise you, it's probably not what you think. It's likely not your race, your education, not your country of origin. It's something entirely different, something no one has ever sat down to talk to you about. By the end of this episode, you will know exactly what's happening, why this is happening, and 3 practical things that you will start doing from today that will flip how your coworkers and even your boss see you. Instead of being overlooked, you become the one they want on their team, the one whose opinion really matters. My name is Joanne Udeh, and welcome to the C.U.P podcast, where African women and female students learn how to become confident, understood, and progressive. I am a registered nurse, a coach, and a Nigerian immigrant living in the U.S. And everything I'm about to break down to you today, I lived it first. A quick note before we start. I want you to know that I'm sharing this from my own personal experience and coaching perspective. It's a general guidance, not a substitute for professional medical or mental health care. Also, every immigrant experience is different. I'm speaking from common patterns I've seen and lived, not painting every African immigrant with the same brush. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. All right, let's dive in because here's something nobody tells us. Reason number 1, small talk. Many of our school curricula at home and abroad never taught us effective workplace communication. And that leaves a lot of us clueless about something huge, small talk. We get the job, we have the degree, but we don't know what small talk even is or how much people value it, especially here in the US. And here's the thing, not engaging in small talk is enough to make your coworkers and even your boss start seeing you as invisible. Now, if you're not from here, this might not be making sense to you because back home, we do chat with our coworkers, but usually only after we've worked together for a good while and built real comfort with each other. It takes time, and a manager casually chatting with a junior staff member, almost unthinkable. For instance, here in the US, small talk isn't just politeness, it's currency. It's how trust gets built, and often before even people get to know you, you were able to go from invisible to in the loop with small talk. When you don't engage in small talk at work, you may come across as isolative, condescending, or even insecure. And none of that says anything good about you. But here's the thing. It's not because you don't like your coworkers. It's because of something bigger, cultural differences. We grew up on different continents, different festivals. We have different foods. And we also have different ways of seeing life. And honestly, that's not a bad thing. But as immigrants, it's on us to learn the culture, the norms, the unspoken rules of our new home. Our coworkers don't necessarily need to learn ours, though some genuinely wonderful ones will go out of their way to. And I will always think about this from the other side too. Picture seeing the foreign expatriates working in Nigeria, for instance. They have to learn our ways, the way we do things, or else they will be isolating themselves from others. The cultural gap works both ways. So what do we actually do about it? Let's get into it. Tip number 1, learn the culture. 10 minutes at a time. Use 10 minutes of your day to learn one unique cultural thing about where you live. Google what's unique about your city, your town, or your state. Personally, I find it easier to learn what different Americans eat by watching YouTube food shows like Guy Fieri on Food Network, which is one of my favorites. And even if you don't want to do that, you can visit different places in your area. The cinemas, the restaurants, or hiking trails. Although I personally don't like going on hikings, but if it's something you want to try, go for it. Try and get to know what locals call these places, how they operate, some fun facts about them. That way you're building real things to talk about during small talk or even a longer conversation. Tip number 2, introduce yourself and offer to help. Be open to introducing yourself to a new staff member or anyone you are meeting for the first time. And while you are at it, offer to help them with anything they might need. Here's why this works. People tend to be nicer to you when you are the one who opens the introduction. And if you've helped someone with something, especially if they're new to your unit or your workplace, that goes even further. Do you know how confusing it can be to be a new employee or just be new to a particular workplace? I still remember what it was like for me in my early days at every hospital that I've ever worked in. And I still remember the staff members who introduced themselves to me, the one who offered a helping hand when I clearly needed one. And here's the thing, the new employee I've done the same thing for, they are still friendly with me to this day. They don't ignore me, and they don't ignore my work needs either. Whether it's a small workplace with just a few staff members or a huge corporation with hundreds, people notice and they don't forget. So the next time you see a new face at your workplace, seize the opportunity, walk up and say, "Hi, I am," say your name, your job title, and at the end of that introduction, ask, "Is there anything I can help you with?" If they say no, just say, "Feel free to let me know if you need anything." That's how we do it. And one more thing, always remember to use people's names. Researchers have found that when you address someone by name, it makes them feel good. It makes them feel seen and more ready to connect with you. Reason number 2, only doing your core assignments. Now that we've talked about small talk and why it matters, let's get into another big reason why people may not like you at work. And that is always minding your core assignments. If there is one thing that could make your coworkers not to like you, it's not being willing to help out at your workplace or doing anything in addition to your core assignments. Now you may be wondering, is there anything wrong with that? Well, no, but somehow, yes. And before I go into details explaining why this is wrong, I want to share with you a funny personal story. Before I moved to the US, I worked in a big hospital back home and I was used to focusing solely on core nursing tasks. If a patient's room needed tidying, I would delegate that to housekeeping. They're paid to do it, isn't it? So I thought, and I was completely fine with that. But when I got to the US, I had no idea that nurses here also tidied up patients' rooms and emptied the trash. I noticed that when some nurses came in for shift handoff, they would be a little sarcastic with me. They didn't seem interested in listening to me explain important details about my patients. Then there was this one nurse. Oh, I loved her for that. Whenever she was taking a patient report from me, she would be quietly cleaning the room while she listened. The first time I saw that, I thought, what is she doing? This isn't her job. But one day, I guess she waited long enough, hoping I would pick up on the hint. She asked me directly, "Why is this patient's room like this?" I don't even remember what I said back, but I'm so grateful she asked me that question because you know what changed from that day forward? I started cleaning my patients' rooms before the end of the shift. And I noticed something. The way the other nurses treated me started to change completely, especially the ones that were taking over patients from me. They started thanking me for keeping the rooms clean, for letting them their shift without rushing to empty trash cans or clear bedside tables. Now, some of you might be thinking, don't they have nurses' aides for that? Yes, they do. And those aides are the real deal. They work incredibly hard to keep these patients comfortable. And any little thing you do to help their work easier for them goes a long way. They go a long way to show you their appreciation. And here is another truth. Your coworkers gossip. Yes, they do. We don't have to pretend about that. And you would want them to say something good about you when they bring up your name in their conversations. So starting today, practice going the extra mile for your coworkers. It could be something small like answering the office phone instead of waiting for someone else to grab it, or wiping down a messy desk without complaining. I'll admit, I'm guilty of grumbling about that myself. Here is an important caution. don't overdo it and don't step on anyone's boundaries while you're doing it. Because some people will genuinely appreciate the extra hand, but others, some very particular coworkers might start seeing it differently. They might feel like you are covertly trying to take over their jobs or you are trying to make them look inefficient. So read the room. Offer help, but stay aware of how it's landing. And here is one more powerful tool I discovered, one I have been using to my advantage ever since. Know your office policies, rules, and procedures, at least the commonly used ones. Having solid knowledge of your workplace rules doesn't just make you competent, it makes your coworkers see you as a resource, someone dependable, someone the team can rely on. Here is a tip. If something happens at work that you're not familiar with, ask questions about it and ask about how it was resolved. Then compare what you were told to the actual written policy, because that same situation could easily come up again. And when you're in duty and people need help figuring something out, you just might be the first person they think to ask. One more thing. Stay up to date with your skills because nobody wants to associate with a staff member who is perceived as incompetent. Reason number 3, nonverbal cues. Lastly, let's talk about the most important and easily ignored reason people may not like you, your nonverbal cues. We've all heard that spoken words make up a surprisingly small part of communication. Research suggests a huge portion of how we communicate is actually nonverbal. Our tone of voice, our volume, facial expressions, postures, gestures, all of it speaks before we even open our mouths. There are a few things that I would like you to note. People don't like straining to hear someone speak, and it's hard to approach someone who looks angry, tired, or worried, even just for a simple conversation. Even the way we sit can push people away. Slouched in a chair, we might come off as lazy or uninterested, and that's off-putting, even if it's not how we feel inside. And speaking too fast, especially with an accent, can make it harder for people to catch what you're saying. So here's a quick fix. Make sure you take your breaks to eat during your shift. It's very easy to wear a sad, tired, or irritated face when you are hungry, and your coworkers have no way of knowing that's why. So take breaks before you get too worn down. You can also practice a slight relaxed smile in the mirror and try to wear that expression at work. When you catch yourself slipping into a resting sad face, gently reset it. Over time, it becomes natural to carry a warm, welcoming expression without even thinking about it. One last thing, be mindful of how you sound when you speak. Some of us, especially those with strong accents or have naturally louder speech patterns, may come across as loud or arrogant, even when that's the farthest thing from the truth. Our coworkers don't always know that. So here is an exercise. Record yourself speaking the way you normally would at work and listen back. Notice what might be coming across differently than you intend and work on it from there. Now, everything I've shared on this podcast comes from a bigger mission I've chosen for myself, which is helping people become the confident, well-spoken team members or boss that everybody actually likes working with. That's exactly why I started my coaching business. If you need coaching on how to boost your confidence, improve your communication skills, and get practical strategies for your relationships, career, and daily life, check out my website at joanneudeh.com. You can sign up for a free 20-minute discovery call, or if you already know you need a coach to help you build your confidence and communication skills, go ahead and book a session. I've made it affordable for my fellow Africans, both back home and in the diaspora. And hey, subscribing is free. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers this week. And I will be uploading a new life-changing episode every week, but I need your comments and suggestions on what topic you want me to cover next. If you've experienced anything I talked about in this episode, I would love to hear it. Drop it in the comments, and thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.